What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about 3 Grayscale trusts today: BCHD, LTCN, and GSOL. Hit that like button and subscribe. Let's get into this. So we're sitting at about $9 now on BCHD. Moved up 10.7% today. Nice. Not a whole lot of volume. Could it be given back? Sure. Could it continue moving up? Sure. It's hard to say right now if this is the low. We don't have a lot of conclusive evidence, but we do have a bullish engulfing candle, of which is a Marubazoo. A Marubazoo. For all of you aspiring technical analysts out there, if you go to this website here called The Pattern Site, thepatternSite.com, it's a Thomas Bulkowski. He's the one that made it. You click on candlesticks, right? He's got this whole glossary of different candlestick patterns. We're going to go to M for Marubazoo, black. Or actually, well, wouldn't have to be black. This one was actually green. White. Marubazoo white. Let's see. I mean, that's a Marubazoo, right? Where it just basically has no wicks and it's just moving up. There should be statistics. Am I missing it? Maybe I scrolled past it. Let's see. Overall performance rank 70. Oh, okay, here it is. Tested performance continuation 56. So it's basically a neutral kind of suggestion, right? Even though this is and that's what I was trying to get to, is right. Even though this looks bullish, even though it is a Marubazoo, it's a bullish engulfing candle, there's still a chance that you could go lower, right? Even though it looks good right now, there's still a chance you could go lower. Perhaps we go a little higher first and then we go lower. It's hard to say, but one thing is for certain: we take this low, we move it up to this high here. We have bounced off our 1272, so there's a couple things you want to look for if you want to establish this as your low. First thing, you want to get above your 886, okay? Get above 972. Second thing, you want to get above your 618. Get above $11.13. Get excited here, right? You can get a little bit excited there that this is your low, but you'll be very excited when you break above the 618, because that's absolutely your low at that point, I think. If not, you could genuinely move all the way up here and still come back down and go lower. Yes, go lower to these areas here. In fact, I would say with a very high degree of certainty, a statistical likelihood would be that you go to this area, somewhere between the 100 to the 786 area, specifically the 886 itself. That's why that was the first kind of check to check off on your checklist there. If I say check one more time, you better drink or check it out. It's very common to move to this area and then see your next extension that precedes the one you just found support off of. So that would be 745, right? That would be our next kind of target area. And that could be what's in the not so distant future for BCHD. That really could be. So that's the narrative I'm going to roll with right now. I'm not convinced that this is the low yet, but that can change one way or another. I do expect that over the coming days, probably even, tomorrow, to finish out the week, and then opening up next week on Monday or Tuesday, we might move up higher. You could move up as high as $11, but that still doesn't get you out of the woods yet. So move a little bit past that. What was it? $11.13. Move past that, and then we can have some reasons to get excited. Until then, you absolutely do run the risk of going down to 745 to 672. Now, I want to say something before we move on. This is not guaranteed. This is not guaranteed. These prices are not guaranteed. If you're looking to buy BCHG and you're holding out for this zone, you're holding out for lower prices, you think it's going to go below $6. Maybe it does. Don't let me stop you from getting in at great prices. Do your own thing. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but this is BCHG. This is what it does, right? Moves up in a very short amount of time, and then it's boring, and then it moves up kind of slowly, but week by week, marching its way up, and then it'll move up in a very short amount of time, and then it's boring, and then it'll move up in a very short amount of time, and then it's boring. It's just a matter of time. This is on a weekly perspective, so it could be a month or two from now, but it's just a matter of time before we get to our next exciting phase for BCHG. And the thing that's cool about BCHG is it does not need BCH to break its previous highs for BCHD to break its previous highs, right? This zone here for BCH, right? They found their top. BCHD found its high around the same time BCH did, right? They found it at the same time, but it broke above its high here well before BCH actually broke above its high, right? This maneuver up here, this is when BCH actually broke above its high, but in reference, BCHD had already done that. So what I'm trying to say is it does not need BCH to be overly bullish to grow, right? And when you're dealing with something like that and you're at $9 and the relative high is at $23, which would imply that the next movement is going to be greater than that, why wait, right? You already waited long enough. You had your opportunity to buy below $8, which was a target area that we've identified for a little bit of time now. Why wait? You know, you already missed it. Why wait? I don't know. I'm not saying to buy here. I'm not saying throw your whole bag in at this price. I do think at this point in time that we'll go up a little bit and then probably come down and form a lower low, probably, and that might be your low. But there's nothing wrong with DCAing in, right? Because I could be wrong. Maybe you buy here, it goes up, and then instead of a lower low, we actually get a higher low here, and then we move up, right? And it's like basically at the same price that you're buying now. You'll get another chance to DCA, or maybe it'll move up and you can just DCA at slightly higher prices, throw the rest of the bag in if it breaks this point here, whatever. You're buying at higher prices, but at least you're still buying less than 50% of what this relative high is, right? That's good risk management, in my opinion, is to not let that opportunity pass, right? You're still at a good time to buy as long as you're below like $11.50. So, and we're there now, right? So if anybody's looking to buy BC, the whole point of this last bit of conversation is that if anybody's looking to buy BCHG, don't wait around too long. Lower prices are not promised. We are at some of the lowest prices that you've seen since April, actually, really since March of this year. Get it while it's hot, man. Areas of support, areas of support, areas of support, maybe, you know, I'm just saying. Let's move on. LTCN. Yeah, and before we move on, one last time. I think we'll probably move up anywhere. We're at $9 now. We're going to move up anywhere from like $9.70 to $11, something like that. And we'll see what we do with that. My anticipation would be that we do reject, and I would expect we go a little bit lower. There's a solid chance we don't, though. You know, it would not surprise me if we found a higher low or double bottomed, right? It wouldn't surprise me. But I am calling for lower prices nonetheless. Something lower than what we just had. $7.45 at least, if not even below $7. Could be on the table, but we'll see. It all depends on BCH too, I think, but it doesn't all depend, but that is probably relevant. Anyways, LTCN. And I would expect that movement for BCHD probably takes place up over the next couple days, right? To end the week and then to begin next week. And then probably sometime next week it'll start to move down again, just a little bit. LTCN does look like it's at a relative low as well. You have bullish divergence. You were oversold. You were very oversold. And now you're getting out of the oversold zone. With that bullish divergence, man, I think you're ready to move up. I think you're probably going to move up to about, you're at 1994 right now with a recent low at about $17, just below. You're probably going to make a move up to around, let's say, $24 to $27, somewhere in that range. From a low point to a high point here. 1618, 1886 hit. Pulling back to your 886, 100 level. Yeah, that makes sense. To be completely fair, with deeper extensions, because you did hit the 1886, there's a decent chance that you could stop at your 1272, which is at 2188. So just be aware of that. At any rate, a little bit higher nonetheless, but it just depends on what you do. You know, perhaps you reject here, you come back to your 618, and then you move higher. Maybe you reject there and you go lower. It's hard to say. But being that you hit the 1886, I would normally call for you to hold resistance at the 1272. I really want to right now that you would actually do that. And maybe you'd form a double bottom or a higher low, something like that, right? I don't think that you're going to go lower. I actually don't think LTCN is going to go lower, personally, than that low. Which might also be causality for BCHG to not move lower as well, but who knows. Generally, I would call for you to find resistance right there after seeing the deep extension of the 1886 being hit. But this time, I would call for you to go back to your 886, 100 area. it's common enough. You can do that. You know, it's not breaking the rules or anything. That just looks more in line with this kind of trajectory that we have, right? It just, to me, that makes more. I mean, that bottom line wasn't so good, but you know, that looks more appropriate. So let's call for that. You're at about 20 bucks now, right? Just moved off of that $17 area. Let's call for a move that's going to take you anywhere from like 24 to 26 bucks. We'll see how you do with that. And that's probably going to happen again over the coming days too, to end the week, so tomorrow, and then starting next week as well, right? Maybe even to finish next week. We'll see. But moving up a little bit. That's LTCN. Same kind of idea here to end this part. If you're looking to buy LTCN, you're at $20 right now. From your low price that you just saw to where you are here at this current exact price, you're at 18.6% above, right? I get it. You're not at the low point. You're significantly, pretty significantly above the relative low. It's not the most ideal point to buy. But you haven't been this low. You haven't been in prices this low since March, okay? Since March. Imagine if you were up here, right? Imagine if you bought at 27 bucks, 54 bucks, you know, anywhere and everywhere between this range. And now you have a chance if you could just jump through a portal and buy at $20 or less, right? Wouldn't it seem like an obvious choice? I don't know. To me, it does. If you look at this, and not financial advice, I'm not a financial advisor, but if you look at this low to this high, and you tipped to a T your golden ratio, your 618 retracement. They call it the golden ratio. Look it up yourself, 618.61. It's actually 1.618 is the golden ratio. You tipped it. You literally tipped it perfectly. Like, do you want to mess with that? I don't know, man. I don't know if I'd want to mess with that. This kind of maneuver, you guys really, this is LTCN. Same thing that I said for BCHD. This is BCHD. This is LTCN. This thing does not mess around. When it finds its low, it moves up pretty quickly. And it might be boring for a second, but when it decides to run, it runs. You might wait a week. You might wait 2 weeks. You might sleep on it for a couple days. Who knows? And instead of at $19.94, now it's at 26 bucks. You'll be even more reluctant to buy it up here. And you wait another week or two, and it's at 34 bucks. And you wait, you just keep waiting. You're like, it's got to come back eventually, right? It's got to pull back eventually. I wanted to buy down here. It's got to pull back eventually. Well, if you waited until 54 bucks when you could have bought it at $15, if you had the patience to wait there, and then it finally pulled all the way back here and you bought it here at higher prices, right? And the whole reason I'm comparing it to this area, if you can't tell, is high, low, kind of some consolidation post low, and then we moved up. High, low, consolidation post low, right? You're not going to be down here forever. And it's, you know, you chilled here still for a little bit of time. You chilled there. But for the first like 3 weeks, from the low point to the high point, you moved up 65%. We're only up 18% right now. So I'm just saying, if you don't like the idea of buying here, because we're up 18% from the low, which happened at a very significant area that I think we won't go below that again, you're going to like it even less when it's up more, right? You're going to like it even less when it's above 25 bucks. So not financial advice. Don't listen to me. Do what you want to do, obviously. It's not my money. It's your money, but take it for what it is. This is a bullish look right here. Low, lower low, low, higher low. That's what they call hidden bullish divergence. You can look it up yourself if you want. Bouncing right off the 618 golden ratio, bouncing off previous areas of resistance, testing that as support, having a very positive reaction with it. Finding support in the center, basically, of this previous consolidation phase. I wonder if we even hit the 0.5. I wonder. Nope, that's the 618 of that one. That's not relevant, but just kind of cool, I guess. Coincidence. It makes sense, man. And the next target that you have to look forward to whenever you break this high, 75 bucks. You're at 20 bucks right now. And you feel bad that you didn't buy it at $17. You know what I mean? Like, I'm talking from the perspective as if I'm talking to anybody who might be chickening out of getting into LTCN before it's too late. That's the whole point, right? I know a lot of you have it. I know a lot of you have been adding to it. Good job for you. But we want to try to make as many people rich as we can, right? So, or richer. I would hope a lot of you are already rich, and maybe not financially, but rich in other ways, right? Money's not everything. Hit that like button and subscribe for money not being everything. But that's LTCN. I do think it's found its low. I do think that it's going to move up the next target areas are at like 24 to 26 bucks over the next like week, I would say. G sold to finish this bad boy up. It actually looks bad on the weekly, and it looks pretty damn bad on the daily too. It actually looks bad. What? Huh. So does Solana. Solana's got to be near the end of its rope, man. It's at 130. I don't think it's going to drop below this low. I mean, it could, but I don't think that it will. So G-Sol's probably at the end of its rope too. You might move down a little bit. You're at 360. It wouldn't be crazy if you moved down to like 330 or even below these lows. I don't think you'll go. I mean, maybe you find support at the 123. Maybe you move down to like 300 bucks. I think you do move lower. Let's look and see just like a relative fib. And this G-Sol is so weird, so the rules don't apply to it as strictly, if that makes sense. But with the way that it looks right now, to me, I very much would normally expect that you would see the extensions, which would be at 293 to 255. So that's the call I'm going to make. I personally, my opinion, my feelings tell me that that's not going to happen, but we're not trading feelings, we're trading technicals, right? We're being strict with our rules. That's the target area. And everything in the chart, the way that it looks, the way the price action looks, the way the RSI looks, how the underlying asset looks even, that has me convinced that it's going down. So if you're looking to buy some G-Sol, never hurts to DCA. I can be wrong. Anybody that's watched the channel for more than a month, you know that I can be wrong, right? Maybe even more than a week. I don't know. It's not a rare event, right? I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. I've been right before. I'll be right again. It never hurts to DCA. But if I was looking to buy some G-Sol, you know, maybe I put 10% in right here, expecting it to go lower, and then I would unload down at these areas around like 250, 280, something like that. But that's just my opinion, and that'll probably happen over the coming week to 2 weeks as well. I would assume it's going to happen in a very short amount of time. You're at the bottom of this consolidation phase. If you don't do that, maybe you hold 330, 350. At any rate, I think you're going lower, but I don't think you hold this. I think that you will. I think you'll probably go either to your green line or more likely just below it. So that's all I got. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you all for being here. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.